A competent infantryman could fire 4 shots a minute, and he could hope to hit a man-sized target at 80 to 100 yards. Spears. Other spears used during the war included long trench spears for defending fortifications and boarding pikes used by seamen. Seamen, lol. What's up, squad? It's your squid. I'm not sure if this second camera is going to work, so you may or may not see it, but long story short, I was at this big merchandise store for America, right? Like near the border in Canada. I live here in Niagara Falls. Right near the falls is like this 2-story tall, like, you know, merchandise sort of building. And yeah, I went in there and for like $3 or something, there was this thing that said weapons of the... Yeah, no, that's not going to work, so I'll just turn that straight off. That's fine. I'll show you guys on that camera. I thought I was going to be able to use my like little Pokemon card extra thing, but yeah. I found this envelope for $3, right? I'm not sure if it'll focus. Sorry for the amateurish production here, but yeah, that's what you get at Anxious Squid. Weapons of the American Revolution. Pictures and descriptions of weapons used in the war. The flintlock musket could fire only about 4 shots per minute. George Washington outfitted his soldiers with 6-foot spears named spontoons, right? Really cool, old school, like made in the old school sort of historical, like it's new paper and new ink and stuff, and they've stained it to make it look old and whatnot, but yeah, I just thought it looked really cool. I wanted to read it. I might put it in my backdrop at some point. It's a history thing, you know? It'll end up in here in my office, but let me know in the comments section if you would like to see it in my backdrop. There's a whole bunch of guns, whole bunch of cannons. It's really cool. The American Revolution was in fact, you know what? I'll cut to me reading it and a picture of this. That's a good idea editing wise, isn't it? Alright, so yeah, I'll see you in a sec. Weapons of the American Revolution. The American Revolution was a very personal war. Weapons had a relatively short effective ranges, and most battles were decided in direct hand-to-hand combat with bayonet, sword, or axe and spear. Each soldier could usually see his opponent as a person, not a faceless statistic in the distance. In the colonial period, the basic ammunition for small arms was lead. The ammunition for almost all of the guns was a solid iron ball and a charge of black powder sufficient to propel it. By far, the most common weapon on both sides was the smooth-bore flintlock musket. British-style Brown Bess muskets were .75 caliber, French patterns were .69. Americans used some of both. These muskets fired by striking a piece of flint against a piece of steel. This produced a shower of sparks that ignited priming powder in the flash pan beneath the steel, and the priming, in turn, set off the main charge inside the barrel. The soldier carried his ammunition in the form of paper cartridges, each holding a charge of powder and a bullet. A competent infantryman could fire 4 shots a minute, and he could hope to hit a man-sized target at 80 to 100 yards. Usually he did not aim, however. Battle techniques called for laying down a field of fire with as many bullets in the air as possible, then charging or defending against a charge with the air... Sorry, I read the same line again there as well. Then charging or defending against a charge with the bayonet. Both sides used the same tactics. Some Americans had rifles instead of smooth-bored muskets. These were superbly accurate weapons with effective ranges of 400 or 500 yards. It took longer to load a rifle with loose powder from a powder horn and a tight-fitting ball wrapped in a piece of cloth. 1 or 2 shots a minute were maximum, and the rifle was too weak for bayonet fighting. When protected by men with muskets or used for sniping or scouting, however, riflemen were very effective. Still, Washington preferred the musket for the great majority of his troops. Cavalrymen carried pistols or short versions of the musket called carbines or musketoons. These were effective only at very close quarters, and cavalry leaders considered the saber or broadsword their primary weapon. Swords were used also by officers, and so were spears called spontoons. Washington felt that a firearm would take too much of an officer's attention away from his troops, and so he ordered all officers serving on foot to carry spontoons about 6.5 feet long. The officers complied and actually fought with these spears. Other spears used during the war included long trench spears for defending fortifications and boarding pikes used by seamen. Seamen, lol. The biggest of the weapons were the guns, howitzers, and mortars of the artillery. Guns fired with a flat trajectory. They used solid iron balls for battering purposes and clusters of small balls called grape shot and canister against enemy troops. Howitzers could fire with a flat trajectory or a high arc to loft projectiles over fort walls. They could shoot the same projectiles as guns, plus explosive shells as well. Mortars fired in a very high arc to drop projectiles over a wall or down on the deck of the ship. Usually mortars fired explosive shells or incendiary devices called carcasses, that's a bit on the nose, to set fire to ships or buildings. There were other projectiles and other weapons, but these were the principal tools with which Americans won their independence. And then they have a big picture of a whole bunch of different weapons there as well. Once again, I'll hold it here for you, but I'll take a bunch of pictures in the edit. You'll get a better closer look. You will have had that already during the video. I'm not going to take the Pokemon cards down, but that would look alright, wouldn't it? It's going up somewhere else in my office. Let me know if you think it would be cool in the backdrop or not. But yeah, that was fun. This is going to go to the history playlist. I may or may not record a video for that playlist. I wrote a script about Henry Parkes, so that should be fun. I'm going to get to do some more reaction videos as well today. Try and do some more F1. That's getting a lot of views at the minute. Maybe do some NASCAR, get into the NFL as well. Anyway, this was sort of a hodgepodge, put it together as I go video, so please do me a solid. If you're not subscribed yet and you liked it, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, let me know in the comments section, and yeah, there's like 6 or 7 different envelopes like that for $3 down at that store, you know, with different Americana and whatnot, and stories, little snippets from American history. So let me know. As I said, I think this is about the 28th time. Let me know if you think this was an alright video. These guys are my patrons. I like money. Turning some of yours into mine on a monthly basis would be ideal. So yeah, help me out. Join my Patreon. The link's at the top of the description. And I'll see you when I look at you. You'll see me when you look at me. Thanks so much for watching.